The human body is a remarkable chemist. As we move through the beautiful, complex seasons of our lives, our internal chemistry subtly shifts. After the age of 60, our skin begins to produce less of the natural antioxidants that once protected the delicate oils on its surface. When these oils meet the air, they can change, creating a new faint scent that is entirely biological and has absolutely nothing to do with hygiene. It is a quiet change, one that can make us feel like a stranger in our own skin, even when we're doing everything right. It can make you pause before hugging a grandchild or putting on a favorite sweater, and it's a feeling we rarely, if ever, talk about. But today we will. I'm Dr. Emily Hart, and for over 15 years, I've had the privilege of helping women navigate the changes in their bodies with clarity and compassion. This channel is our space to do just that, together. If this is the kind of conversation you've been looking for, I invite you to subscribe and become part of our growing community. And as we begin, I'd love for you to tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? I love knowing where this community of strong women comes together from all around the world. Today, we are tackling a topic that requires immense gentleness and understanding. It's the subject of body odor changes that can happen as we age. Let's be clear. This is not about being unclean. This is about biology. It's about hormonal shifts, changes in our skin's microbiome, and the very air we breathe interacting with our incredible bodies. The shame that can creep in around this topic is not welcome here. What is welcome is science, practical solutions, and the grace to be kind to ourselves. So let's explore 5 of these common changes and, more importantly, how we can discreetly and effectively restore our sense of freshness and confidence. First, let's address that faint, almost papery or grassy scent that you might notice on your skin or clothes. This is the change I mentioned a moment ago, and it's perhaps the most misunderstood. I remember a patient of mine, let's call her Margaret. She was a meticulous woman, always elegant. She came to me, her voice barely a whisper, confessing that her favorite cashmere sweater, the one her husband gave her for their 40th anniversary, didn't smell like her anymore. She'd wash it, air it out, and yet there was a lingering scent she couldn't place. It made her feel, in her words, like an old book. This feeling was chipping away at her confidence. The science behind what Margaret was experiencing is fascinating. As our hormonal landscape changes, particularly with the decline in estrogen and progesterone, our skin's antioxidant protection decreases. This allows fatty acids on our skin, specifically one called omega-7, to oxidize. Think of it like an apple slice you leave on the counter. It's not rotten, it's not dirty. It's simply interacting with the air. This process creates a compound called 2-nonenal, which has that unique, not unpleasant but unfamiliar scent. It clings to fabric, which is why Margaret noticed it on her sweater. The solution is twofold: addressing it on the skin and on our clothes. First, look for soaps made with persimmon extract. Persimmon is naturally rich in tannins that have been shown in Japanese studies to safely neutralize 2-nonenal. It's gentle and effective. Second, consider your fabrics. Synthetic materials like polyester can trap oils and amplify odors. Prioritizing natural, breathable fabrics like cotton, linen, and bamboo allows your skin to breathe and can make a world of difference. The tangible benefit for Margaret wasn't just a fresher sweater. It was the joy of feeling at home in her own clothes again. A simple dignity that is so important. This is not a reflection of your cleanliness, but a simple shift in your body's beautiful chemistry, and you have the power to work with it. Next, let's talk with great compassion about changes in urinary or feminine freshness. This is a deeply sensitive area for so many women. It's the quiet fear of a little leak when you laugh too hard or sneeze, or the worry that there's a faint ammonia-like scent you can't get ahead of. A lovely woman named Carol, an avid gardener, shared with me that she had started cutting her time outside short. She loved feeling the sun on her back as she tended her roses, but the fear of a small accident, and the potential odor from it, was keeping her close to home. She was losing a piece of her joy. Here's the science. After menopause, the drop in estrogen can affect the tissues of our pelvic floor and bladder. These muscles, which have supported us our whole lives, can become a little less robust. The lining of the urethra can also thin. This doesn't mean you have full-blown incontinence, but it can lead to what's called stress or urge incontinence, those little leaks. The odor comes from the ammonia in urine being exposed to air and bacteria. The solution begins with gentle support from the inside out. First, pelvic floor exercises or Kegels are not just for young women. Consistently doing them can significantly strengthen those supportive muscles. Think of it as physical therapy for one of the most important structures in your body. Second, hydration is key, but with the right fluids. Many of us cut back on water thinking it will help, but this actually concentrates the urine, making its odor stronger. Sipping water throughout the day keeps your urine diluted and your system flushed. At the same time, try to reduce bladder irritants like coffee, alcohol, and artificial sweeteners. And on the outside, always choose breathable, 100% cotton underwear. It allows for air circulation and reduces the warm, moist environment where odor-causing bacteria can thrive. For Carol, committing to these simple practices gave her the confidence to spend hours in her garden again. She got her freedom back. Your body has carried you through life. It deserves gentle support, not judgment. The third area we'll discuss is a shift in underarm odor. You may have used the same deodorant for 20 years, and suddenly it feels like it's not working anymore. You might feel a bit more sweaty, or notice a stronger, spicier scent than you're used to. I worked with a woman named Diane, who adored her weekly gentle yoga class. But lately, she'd found herself choosing a spot in the very back of the room, feeling self-conscious about raising her arms. She felt musty, she told me, and it was stealing the peacefulness she sought from her practice. Let's look at the biology. We have two main types of sweat glands: eccrine glands, which are all over our body and produce a watery sweat to cool us down, and apocrine glands, which are concentrated in our armpits and groin. The apocrine glands release a thicker, milkier sweat that is full of proteins and fats. It's actually odorless until it mixes with the natural bacteria on our skin. As our hormones fluctuate in our later years, these apocrine glands can sometimes become more active. So, it's not that you're sweating more overall, but the type of sweat might be changing, providing more food for that skin bacteria. The solution here is about working with your skin's pH. Many standard deodorants just mask scent. Look for deodorants that are specifically formulated to be pH balancing. Ingredients like mandelic acid or magnesium can help create an environment where odor-causing bacteria can't multiply so easily. You might also consider using a gentle antibacterial soap in your underarm area, perhaps one with a little tea tree oil, a few times a week. And finally, be mindful of your diet. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower are wonderful for you, but they contain sulfur compounds that can be expressed through your sweat. You don't need to eliminate them, but if you have an important event, you might choose to skip them the day before. For Diane, switching to a pH-balancing deodorant was a revelation. She could once again stretch toward the ceiling in her yoga class with complete confidence. This is simply your body communicating a new need, and you are wise enough to listen and respond. Fourth, let's talk about breath. Have you ever found yourself pulling back slightly when a grandchild leans in for a secret? Or felt self-conscious during a close conversation? A change in the freshness of our breath is incredibly common and often has a very simple root cause. A patient named Helen, a grandmother of 5, confessed that this was her secret heartbreak. Her grandkids were her world, but she was so afraid of having old lady breath that she would subtly turn her head when they hugged her. The science is often not about our teeth, but about our saliva. As we age, and particularly because of the many necessary medications we may take for things like blood pressure or cholesterol, our mouths can become much drier. This condition is called xerostomia. Think of your saliva as a natural river that is constantly rinsing your mouth, washing away food particles and neutralizing odor-causing bacteria. When that river runs low, things become stagnant. Bacteria can multiply, leading to a stale or musty odor. The solution is all about restoring moisture. First and foremost, sip water all day long. Not big gulps, but constant, gentle hydration. Keep a water bottle with you at all times. Second, consider using products with xylitol, a natural sugar substitute. Xylitol is amazing because bacteria can't metabolize it, and it actually stimulates saliva production. You can find it in chewing gum, mints, and lozenges. Third, add a tongue scraper to your daily routine. A surprising amount of odor-causing bacteria lives on the back of the tongue. A gentle scrape once a day can make a huge difference. Finally, eat crunchy, watery foods like apples, celery, and carrots. The chewing action and high water content help to physically scrub your teeth and stimulate saliva. Helen started carrying a beautiful water bottle and keeping xylitol mints in her purse. The next time she saw her grandkids, she was the one to pull them in for a close hug. A fresh smile is a powerful tool for connection, and you deserve to use it freely. We have arrived at our final point, and it requires the most tenderness of all. It is about changes in our intimate vaginal odor. This is the conversation that is almost never had, yet it can cause a silent erosion of self-esteem and create distance in our most intimate relationships. A change from your body's normal scent to something a bit more sour, or even fishy, can be deeply distressing. I think of Susan, who had been happily married for over 45 years. She told me, with tears in her eyes, that she had been avoiding physical intimacy with her husband. She felt a profound sense of shame, convinced she was somehow unclean despite her meticulous hygiene. The science once again comes back to estrogen and a delicate balance. Think of your vaginal microbiome as a beautiful, thriving garden. In our younger years, estrogen helps keep the soil of that garden perfectly acidic, which allows the good bacteria like lactobacillus to flourish. These are the guardians of the garden. After menopause, when estrogen levels fall, the pH of the vagina can rise, becoming less acidic. This change in the soil can allow other, less desirable bacteria to overgrow, leading to conditions like bacterial vaginosis, which is often the cause of that fishy or unpleasant odor. It is an imbalance, not an infection you catch, and it is incredibly common. The solution must be gentle. The absolute worst thing you can do is use harsh soaps, douches, or internal cleansers. This is like pouring bleach on your delicate garden. It wipes out everything, including the good bacteria you need for protection. Instead, cleanse the external vulva area only, using just warm water or a specially formulated, pH-balanced wash. Internally, your vagina is self-cleaning. Second, talk to your doctor. There are safe, highly effective, low-dose, localized vaginal estrogen treatments, creams, tablets, or rings that restore estrogen only to the vaginal tissues, helping to reacidify the environment and bring your garden back into balance. For many women, this is life-changing. It's not a systemic hormone replacement, but a targeted local therapy. For Susan, having this conversation with her doctor and starting a local treatment not only resolved the issue, but it lifted a mountain of shame from her shoulders. She reconnected with her husband and, more importantly, with herself. Your intimate health is a vital part of your overall well-being. It deserves attention, care, and kindness. As we close our time together, I want you to hold this one truth in your heart. Your body is not failing you. It is communicating with you. These changes in scent are not a reflection of your worth, your beauty, or your cleanliness. They are simply signals asking for a new kind of attention, a different kind of care. You have lived a full life in this body. It has held your joys, your sorrows, your strength. Now is the time to listen to it with compassion and respond with wisdom. You are worthy of feeling comfortable, confident, and utterly at home in your own skin. I'd love to continue this conversation with you. In the comments below, please share one small act of self-kindness you'll do for yourself this week. Let's fill that space with support and inspiration for one another. Thank you for trusting me with your time today. Until next time, be well and be kind to yourself.